What's up, y'all? It's Gillette Tea Time. It's season 3. We're back. We're a little under construction. We're trying to get things together, but we're back and we're here to drop tea. It's like a whole new thing I'm doing. I have like a whole new cast. So let's see what's about to go on. So I'm about to introduce my cast. My first person is a dear person to me. He is the founder of the house, one of the founders of the House of Tishi. My brother, he's a fashion icon in the ballroom scene. He knows his pieces. He has his own clothing line. The one and only, the Gunna.
Hey sis, how's it going? How y'all doing?
What's going on? Welcome to Tea Time with Gillette. How you
Hey,
doing?
welcome.
Yes.
Ready?
So, yes, got your mug. Got your mug
tea.
ready.
It's time for a little tea time.
Time for a little tea time. I love the background. Love it. All the artwork.
Thank you. You know, I'm an artsy kind of person. I know art and creativity all around, not just fashion.
Okay. All right. So my next co-host is the one and only NYC mother Machiavelli, Miss Jada, the female figure that comes and breaks it up for you, and she gives you like all these technical hands and all this stuff, and you really have to process it. But she's here to also give you a different side of her and give you her points of view on things. So the one and only Jada the Great. What's up, sis? Oh, she's trying to print her hair. You here? You together?
The camper, how you doing? Yes,
You
we're
said
here.
happy
We're together.
camper?
We're here. We're in the moment. We're
Hello, welcome.
what's that? Good morning, camp
You said good morning, campers, everyone. Good morning,
stars, because I
campers.
have on a lip.
Yes, I love your cups. This is the co-pilot, right? I got Puppy here.
Yes, sister, co-pilot, BFF.
Oh, sister. Okay,
I
all
know
right.
it's so cute. I wish I would have stuck with the bear, with the first. I would have had a kitty.
Oh, but it's okay. Maybe next time we will have plenty more time to do, display our cups and our mugs. All right. So our next co-host is a newcomer. Her name is Sasha. She's such a sweetheart. She knows her fashions. She knows her hip hop and like she knows her urban. She knows everything. And she's really, really smart. And I just really want to give her the platform and the time. So the one and only Sasha.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Sweetie.
Hello.
How are you? How are you?
Hello. Happy Sunday.
Happy
Is that
Sunday.
my mic?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah, with your creative cup. I love it.
I love it.
I
Yes,
think
yes.
the last time we saw each other, I had a B day, and this one is tea. Tea for tea. Tea time.
For tea,
Tea
yes.
time.
Well, welcome to Tea Time, and happy belated birthday. You had a birthday Friday.
Yes, I did. It was on a Friday.
How was it?
I had I wear 3 dresses, but I was in Gucci for my Friday, and then Friday I went to I was in Gucci, and I was thinking of a mannequin for my fashion look. And usually when you see mannequins, and I love the legging, the tights. And I had
Mm-hmm.
some tights with a strappy stiletto, a leather skirt with the shirt and the belt. And, I had a big old fur. Well, it's right here.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay.
So it was dripping over me like a hood. And I don't want PETA to try to sue me. It's not real fur, it's fox fur. Uh, but one thing I can say is I used to think that birthdays were about people giving you gifts and, "Oh, I love you this, I love you that." But this year was really a self-reflection of celebrating me and my love for me and my discovery of what I've always dreamed,
Mm.
and I think that is like a lot of growth for me because you can't live a life. I think it's I've become accustomed to realize
Oh, she giving you
you live a life of
the
you don't expect, and I think when you expect things and the plans work out crazy, but when you live a life of abundance and an expectancy, it turns out sexy. So I didn't get a cake. So I didn't make a wish yet, but somebody said they're gonna bring me a cake. So hopefully, I get a cake and make a wish.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Oh, but then Friday I wore this fabulous dress, and I have that I think it's on my Instagram story too. Yeah, it's on my Instagram and my Facebook, and it was this. I usually don't wear Fashion Nova because I'm always into like vintage pieces like BCBG, Chanel, or I haven't tried Balenciaga, but I am very interested. I love the artistry that he's done with Kim, and Yay, because you guys also know that he has changed his name to Yay.
Is you gonna spill the tea, or let me bring up the other co-host?
Yeah. Oh, so the tea is that we're spilling.
No, just wait. I gotta bring up my other co-host.
Yes, you before you bring up the other co-host, the tea. Guess who is dating Roddy Ricch?
Look, daughter. Wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Let me bring in. Let me bring in the other co-host. So my other co-host, she comes from the Kiki scene. She's another female figure performance. You may not have seen her in a while because she's been out being a wife and doing her things, but she's definitely up with her tea and up with her juice. So the one and only Morgan.
Hi! Oh my god!
What's going on? Well, Morgan, what's going on? How you feeling?
I'm sorry.
What's going on? How you feeling?
It sounds slowed down. Like I can't. Yeah.
What's going on? How you're feeling?
How are you doing?
I'm gagging. It sounds slow. Like I can't hear y'all.
I
You're
can
pretty
hear
low
you.
too, Morgan.
Press the mic button on the left side.
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right. So in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming in and joining Gillette Tea Time season 2. Like season 3. I already told you we're under construction, so we'll get this under wraps pretty soon. But first off, when I came in, I was already playing one of my favorite songs, by my favorite persons, Miss Summer Walker, and her new hit is called X for a Reason. So to get things started off, I want to know, does anybody up here have an ex, and what was the reason it's an ex?
Ooh.
Right to you.
Well, I have 3 exes in total. I've dated 3 times in my adult life.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of them have a reason.
Well, can you give us a reason for one?
Well, the first one was a 6-year relationship. It just ran its course. I was young. I changed and grew a lot from the start of the relationship to the end of the relationship. I was maybe 22 when we started dating. So by the time I was 26, I was a different person. Then the second one, I moved to New York and we just started dating. So I didn't think we were at the point in the relationship where you moved them with you. We weren't quite into dating at that point. And then the third one was an engagement that was canceled.
Oh.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Oh. Okay. Well. Sasha, you have an ex for a reason?
Breathe.
What is it?
Well, I'll say how my journey started. Well, I'll say 4. I'll say my lucky 4. My first love was an experience where I had trauma and I dealt with domestic violence. So I went through a stage of having to, forcing myself to heal and to leave that situation. But because of the trauma that I had as a kid, I got into another relationship, which was like ×2 of the abuse, but it wasn't physical. Now it was the alcohol. So that was another experience. All 4 experiences taught me a very valuable lesson when it just comes to relationships and just life in general, and being a successful woman and having options. they're my ex for a reason, because one of them was domestic violence, and then one of them was verbal, and one of them was physical, and then also another one was spiritual, where people will try to take your gifts because they see that you are gifted and your power can become very intimidating.
Mm.
Um, so I've always believed in practicing safe sex, but also having private life, happy life. But it also can be abusive when it gets to a certain point where there has to be some type of physicality, where if in some type of agreement, or a communication where we can agree to disagree. And it's sad, but uh, it's always a song that that's relevant to history and what's going on now, because we all have literally had an ex for a reason. And I had one that beat my ass as a kid and taught me a lesson, and then but it also taught me to have privacy. So then when I got into my next relationship, I had privacy, but then he got into some alcohol issues, and then I found out that he was cheating. So and that was another toxic thing, because as women, we take the shit, because if we're this strong backbone, and and we see it's been a pattern to go back, to go back, but then it's like, if I don't fix this, then who will? But then you don't want it to play a trigger in your mind, because then you're saying to yourself, hurt people, and just because we're in a relationship doesn't mean that your problem is my problem.
Right, right.
Which also goes to the Will Smith and Jada situation, where I understood that yes, there are certain marriages aren't perfect and there was entanglement, but it's not your responsibility to make me happy. And I also feel like that is really triggered on a relationship where the expectation of the corny shit is expected, and that's not really a real relationship. You know what I'm saying? The details of my privacy is not a real relationship. You're not supposed to know what we ate a whole damn week. I mean, Blue Poo, like, if it's social media, it's different. But like when you like digging into the depths, it taught me a lot about privacy. And then also, um, I have another one that was a third. Well, with the four. The first was domestic violence. The second was alcohol. The third was the jealousy with me being successful, and um, the fourth has really. I don't want to put him in the bracket of X, because I feel like that would be disrespectful to the person who is taking a risk to be, you know, displayed hand in hand, where they're not being discriminative towards my image, or to who I am. And I think that that is really forever in a relationship when you have someone who is literally loving you in public, and it doesn't have to be extra, and he doesn't have to say I love you all like that, but it's the physicality, especially when it comes to, I mean, just a woman in general. A woman needs her man to, he doesn't have to be there all the damn time, but he needs to be present.
Right, 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 right. So Morgan, how do you feel? Do you have an X for a reason?
Um, I feel like we all have an ex for a reason, to be honest. However, I will say that I kind of disagree, but with me or her?
With you, everyone has an X for a reason. We'll just see. We'll see. Go ahead, Morgan.
Well, I mean, if you have an ex, it's for a reason. I don't necessarily think it pertains to like the song and all that other stuff, but I mean, we all have exes for a reason. For me though, personally, like I was saying, I don't really like have like any like experience that I just feel like is like, like was diminishing to me as a person, or like traumatizing, or like I felt like I had to grow from it. Like I thankfully was never, I never really had to like go through something like that. um, with someone that I was actually dating. But I also think that's because I didn't want to like date. Like I like talking to a lot of people. Like, hey, let's talk. Let's get to know each other. Let's be friends. And then I might date you. Might, might,
Big Mike.
might.
Jada, you had an X for a reason, or you disagree? All right, so we're gonna come back to Jada. I think it's some technical difficulties on her end, but we'll get back to it. So we're gonna kick things off. Halloween Kill has came out. I watched it. It was a Rotten Tomato for me. It's just like what y'all gonna like, Michael. Like I'm really not seeing it like for real. Like, and then how long y'all gonna keep bringing Jamie Lee back to life? But okay, so anyway, Michael Myers.
Yay!
Yay, he's back. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
I didn't
I
see it.
mean,
I am a big horror fan. It's my favorite genre. I love 70s, 80s, early 90s horror. But I've never been a fan of Michael Myers. I mean, I know the actual the premise and the story and the backlog and the backstory and everything, but it just didn't make sense. And to me, in the world of Pet Cemetery, Children of the Corn, Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason, it just didn't make sense. So I just never was a fan. It's like some rant. Like I was very particular. I'm a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan, and I like to have a love story with the antagonist of a horror series. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the Michael Myers because you can always tell from the walk and stuff. It was always a different actor playing Michael Myers from one film to the next. You never really could fall in love with him as a character.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to love horror characters. Like I think Chucky is the funniest shit on the planet. I think the Children of the Corn, I think they are the scariest little fucking white children on the planet. I
Yeah.
would run away from a group of children and like, no, you really have this connection. But I never could get a connection with Michael Myers. I mean, I could somewhat get a connection with Jamie's character as his sister. But again, that one to the H2O to this one, she would just pop back up in random places like, oh, we're gonna reboot the series again. Let's bring Jamie back because everyone
Yeah.
loves
Well,
Jamie.
this time with this Halloween Kills, it's a big scandal because there was a homosexual couple in the movie this time, and they were murdered.
Wow.
And Twitter and social media has been a big uproar about that. So like, how do you guys feel about this?
when you say murdered, are you saying as in people think that they were gay bashed?
Well, some people thought they were gay bashed, and in the movie because they were a gay couple that were slaughtered, killed,
If it was Friday,
So,
sure.
massacred
If
so,
it
by
was Jason,
by
so,
sure.
Jason. I mean,
Michael?
by Michael Myers.
so
When
is
has
it?
Michael Myers ever had a preference?
I mean, there was a black and white couple. There was an interracial couple in the movie as
He
well.
Yeah,
kills
I saw
kids.
it. I
I mean,
saw the.
this is coming from a kid who was traumatically going through abuse as a child. So I will say that I don't agree, and that's always feeling the need to. People have gotten so comfortable with throwing the "I am fucking offended" card, and it's like what's really fucking offensive is the derogatory bullshit that is in certain music that has projected us to be ignorant to not to living a toxic fucking lifestyle and thinking that you're gonna reap, that you're not gonna reap what you sow.
Right. Yeah, so
I
I saw
agree.
the
The
articles.
point of the Halloween, I've been a fan since I was a kid. I think that every time Jamie, I think she wants to do, for generation to generation to come because I mean. It's Jamie Lee fucking Curtis. She's an icon. What else? Whatever fucking movie is she gonna put her in? I mean, I would love to see her in Devil Wears Prada.
That's not her speed. Back to the
Yeah, that's not her.
homosexuals being killed in Michael Myers' home that his sister was murdered in the window where he likes to stare out at. Like,
So here's my thing with that, right? So since I'm very big on the LGBT That's where our full stop. Agenda, right? I do believe we have an agenda. I'm here for the agenda. Our agenda is visibility, representation, and media, right? Um, and I'm usually on the side of any, we have our issues with mainstream media, mainstream community. But this was just one of those times where it's just like, really, girl, first of all, the identification of gay couples in horror movie rarely ever happens, if it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually took the time to identify a gay couple in a horror film, which is now representation. Of course they died. Everyone gets fucking killed. Like, you expect them to be like gay superheroes that come in and save the day with like a rainbow cape on and finally be able to be the ones to kill Michael Myers? Like, what was the expectation here? You know? I mean, we already know the stereotypes, right? Like every horror movie, the black person dies off first or something like that. Hell, we never even had a gay couple in a film.
We only get one gay person.
So for that representation to even be there and to be shown, I mean, it falls in line with the horror genre. I think that there are times that we are a little sensitive, which I understand. Again, representation in media is new for us for the most part. Relative to everyone else's representation, it's new. So we're still working out the nuance of it. But, I mean, now, if it would have been Sleepless in Seattle and the gay couple was killed off first, I would have said, well, hey, baby, this is Sleepless in Seattle. What's going on? But if it's a horror movie, it's a horror movie.
So we have a comment from
You want me to read it?
Facebook. Did everyone have a chance to read that?
I did.
But see, even with that,
I was actually going to say the same thing.
But here's the thing: in horror films, typically a horror film is gory and it kills people in a way that would be more horrific for them. So if we're gay, they're going to kill gay people in a way that's horrific for gay people, right? Yeah. If in your dreams, in Nightmare on Elm Street, your dream would be your worst nightmare, and then Freddy would use that to come and kill you, right? So it would make sense that if they would have been sodomized, or if you would have said something homophobic toward them, that's part of horror genre. Its intent is to scare you into realizing that the things that we're afraid of, we shouldn't really be afraid of. That's why horror has always had this kind of like slight comedic edge to it, because of the way that it's trying to expand like our fears and exploit them, and then show them that we really have nothing to fear with our fears. So again, I think this is one of those cases. I don't know the person who made this up, but it's probably some white people. They want to make everything into an issue, and yeah, no, I don't see an issue.
Yeah.
I also think that if he would have not killed them, they would have also been saying he was homophobic. So I mean,
yeah, like
it's a lose. Like,
you're not worth killing.
Oh my God, he didn't kill the gays. Michael's homophobic now. Why did he kill everyone but the gays? He even killed the little girl down on X Street. Yes, Michael Myers has no preference. He kills everybody: dogs, kids, fat, skinnies, blacks, whites, gays.
I mean, he's literally one of the few. He's one of the few horror killers who actually killed children in his movies. If you look back and look up the history of horror genre, very rarely is there a killer that actually kills children.
Yeah.
Like, he kills every fucking body. Your newborn baby can be sitting in the crib crying, and he will come axe that hoe.
All right. Literally. Well, if you have not seen Halloween Kills, please make sure you go see it. It's in theaters. I think it's also on like your smart TV as well. So go check it out. It was okay. It just wasn't what I expected. It was. I fell asleep, but it was good.
I mean, horror genre isn't.
It was horror.
The genre of horror movies now, it's just. I think horror made more sense in a world where we had less access to the world and information, right? Because you were allowed to be afraid. You were allowed to be more afraid of the world because the world felt so big. But now the world doesn't feel big as much anymore. We have access to all this information. So it really takes redefining the horror genre and what it means. I think a lot of the old horror movies, those were the fears of white people, like some random boogeyman, right? For instance. Whereas we didn't really have a black horror genre until this modern era with like Jordan Peele doing Out and things of that nature, because he's found a way. He's found the stories at the heart of black people that scares them and built a genre around it. I think for those type of movie creators, they have to find a new horror way of connecting with their audience because the boogeyman just isn't as scary anymore. I mean, I think when I look at the
Yeah.
horror series over the course of, like I said, I'm a 70s Pet Cemetery, Carrie type of horror person. You bring that all the way up to modern times. I mean, Annabelle maybe, but really the most recent last successful horror series that was true horror was Saw. I'm sorry, not Saw, but
Mm-hmm.
Scream.
Scream was my
And
thing.
Saw was actually kind of like a movement from pure horror, where you had like this pure
Mm-hmm.
antagonist, to now this kind of like dramedy type of
Horror.
yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
more like it was more suspense thriller horror. Whereas in the past, horror was just horror. It was gory. It just killed you. And then it became more like this, with Scream, and then with Saw, it became like you're solving these crimes and all this other stuff. I think movie makers just need to go back to the drawing board. I love Jordan Peele though. I think he's an amazing horror genre creator.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan Peele. All right, so
I
we're
just
gonna
want to
switch.
piggyback.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Go piggyback.
I just
Piggyback.
want to piggyback a little bit, very
Piggyback.
small. I just
Piggyback.
want to say I agree with you 110%. And I also think that people are taking the idea of perception out of horror, which is a very, very big ideal because if you perceive something to be scary, then it's gonna scare you. If you don't perceive that to be scary, you won't get that same feeling. Like with horror movies that are true stories, you know that happened already, so you know that there's an idea that bitch this can happen to me, and that's what makes it even more scarier. That's all.
Yep.
All right. So that was all on Michael Myers scandal with it being a homophobe, just because there was a married gay couple there. They got murdered in the house. Everyone got murdered in that movie, sweetheart. Everyone got taken out.
Including the kids.
I can guarantee you that
Kids.
article was written by somebody white.
It probably was.
I actually tell you right now. Give me 1 second.
So Morgan, while Morgan's looking that up, Morgan also, can you touch on, like, I saw something on Twitter about Little Boosie just like reading the dog shit out of Little Nas X. I just feel like Little Boosie cannot take Little Nas X, and Little Nas X just keeps serving it to him every time. So
I'm so shocked. Boosie
yes,
read Little Nas X. How shocking!
yes, he gave pretty
I'm
much.
like disappointed that
Go ahead, Jada.
It was a white woman.
oh, I'm
Not
sorry.
even
It
a
was
fucking
I'm just
gay,
very
a lesbian.
disappointed that he's still like he's still going after this young man who clearly has no, you know what I mean, has no care or say so for, but he got, and it's just like, girl, why are you still pressed? Like, you're still pressed, steam starched like a bagel and a biscuit. Like, let it go. You're saying hurtful things on the internet. Nobody's like checking you for that. You gave your children to prostitutes when they were young. Nobody said nothing about that. I'm confused. I'm confused of why you steal. Why steal? At the end of the day, like, why
See, I'm not even
steal?
confused on why he
He's
does that.
pressing Little Nas. Like, tell me.
Well, the tweet, and I quote, this is what the tweet says. It says, "Stop trolling
More
me,
coffee.
agate. LOL. You a whole bitch playing with a gangster, shaking my head. You keep sucking dick and getting fucked in your ass. And peace. And you hate yourself. I would I would too if I was Little Nas X, laughing out loud. Commit suicide. You would do this world a favor. Nobody wants you here." That is
There's so much to
Those
unpack
were his
there,
exact.
but I totally get why he does it. Right? I
Out
mean,
of control.
Boosie had disappeared to
So,
obscurity. Huh? No, I'm saying like
go
Little
ahead, go
Boosie
ahead.
had disappeared into the world of obscurity until he started to come for Little Nas X. So this gives him visibility.
Yes.
I mean, when you
Yes.
unpack the things he said, starting from the bottom, no one wants you here. Clearly, someone wants him here. He's on his third #1 single. In 2 years, he's continued to have a career that they said was going to last for 15 seconds. He's now going on his
I'ma be
third
there.
year of seconds. He's in what it is he's in every door that the hip hop genre from its birth said he shouldn't be in,
Exactly.
and so it is making the people who spewed homophobia, transmedia, those type of rhetorics second guess their entire career, because this was supposed to be a safe space for them to demean women, demean the gays, demean people who aren't out here hustling, getting their money, and all these other things, to create this fantastical world of hypermasculinity and toxic masculinity. And now you have this young gay boy who's coming in and knocking the walls out of that entire structure. And so he just feels inadequate. He doesn't have a world. The world isn't built for the little boosies anymore. And he just doesn't have a place. And so he's riding the coattails of Little Nas X. But I'm more concerned with, why do we continue to give him even
life?
Sorry. Why do we even give him any time? Like, we give him power.
I think he also
says something by us responding and making it a big thing. Just let her disappear.
Mm-hmm.
We have a comment. I think Jada was saying something, but the comment was he's jealous because
Grace Jones.
Homophobia. So when a gag is doing better than him, they expect rebuttal.
Come on, Grace Jones.
I just feel like leave it on Nas X alone.
Yeah.
You have so many other things that you could be worried about as a grown ass man. Why don't you go like protest for black rights or something? Like, why are you so invested on this? How old is Little Nas X? Like 21-year-old homosexual little kid? Like, are you serious? Who just wants to make fucking music? Bitch, this man has the album of the year. He has 3 number ones. He was the first gay rapper to hit a billion streams on YouTube for anything. Like, girl, leave my daughter alone. My daughter is fine. She needed a couple of dance lessons and stuff, but it's not about that.
Yeah, she do need some dance lessons. And
it's not about that, though.
And she needs some punt lessons too. She needs to learn how to break it a little bit.
But you gotta think, he grew up again. He's from Atlanta. He's from the south side of Atlanta. So he grew up in a city that a lot of heterosexuals would like to say is a very gay place. But the Southern Bible Belt in Atlanta is still the Southern Bible Belt in Atlanta. When I hear people like Lil Nas, Boosie and them go off, it just reminds me, it's the same kind of rhetoric of, Trump and let's make America great again. Like, basically wanting to revert back to a time where toxicity was the norm. And if you were offended by toxicity, you were the problem. Right? And now we live in a world where we're finally starting to hold people accountable for bullshit that we've had to just suck up and deal with for eons. And people who are now having to be held accountable don't like it.
Right.
Fuck
especially black people.
Ooh. I'll still play his little song when I go to like the
to the little club, right?
Yeah, little club, or when I go to homecoming. He got a little homecoming banger and stuff. See, that's the other thing. Do you
really play them now?
Huh?
Do you really play them now?
But me and Gunna both
homecoming,
but me and Gunna both from the South.
I went to Morehouse College, right? So I went to the South.
It's
so he does have music that we rock with at homecoming. It's very homecoming, black HBCU.
I just want to make sure we're being honest here.
No, I'm being honest. I listen to him when I'm at home in the South.
I believe you.
But do I just like wake up on Saturday and put on Boosie? No.
I don't think anybody's doing that.
No.
And the thing about it is, even he's in a different situation than, let's say, a R. Kelly or a Bill Cosby, right? Where when we scream and we feed into their media, we actually make them millions of dollars because
it's
their platform. Boosie, all of us can listen to him, and he's gonna get a check for like $7.22.
It's a marketable business, Good, any press is good press. This is the industry. If it doesn't matter if you're a fucking slut, it's getting fucking talked about. You could be the biggest slut, but if your fashion game is on and you're around the hottest people, you have a good affiliation and you're marketable, it's what sells. They don't give a fuck if you're pretty. It's about making money. And if they can't make money off of you, then you're fucking useless. Excuse my French.
And to Sasha's point, it goes to influence, right? Going back to the names that I named, right? R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, when they were going through their situations, their numbers went through the roof. Like, everyone's checking out the Cosby Show. Everyone's streaming R. Kelly. Boosie has been trying to get that viral moment,
and it's not
his music never starts to stream. He never rises to the top of the streams or anything. He's waiting for that viral moment, and he really he really tapped into the uglier side of Black toxic masculinity, and
Mm-hmm.
it's I don't know. Next topic, she's
Next
trash.
topic, yeah.
I agree.
So, some of the people do not agree with my girlfriend getting back out there and trying out for love. But I am a person that loves love and feel like, sweetheart, you dust yourself off and try again. Rest in peace, Aaliyah. So I heard that
Yeah.
Sweetie is back out dating.
Who?
Yes.
Sweetie. You know the sweetie meal from McDonald's. I didn't try it because I don't really like McDonald's. No shade, McDonald's, let
I
me
mean, we've
down.
all had that.
Um,
Let's
the
be
sweetie meal,
honest.
but
You know,
sweetie.
I'm
We've
the
had
old
it.
fogey on the panel. I don't be knowing half these people y'all be naming.
Yes, you know, sweetie.
She the one that saying tap 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 in. Lil
Oh,
Wayne
that's
fat
so.
ass bitch tap in.
I thought they pronounced it so.
You wait a minute. Hold on,
Mm,
everybody. Pause.
I
Now
mean,
say what?
Sweetie.
Oh, so sweetie.
I always hear the young kids say sweetie.
Oh, well, we'll call her so
that's because they
sweetie.
think
Is
they
back
can
out
read.
dating
They think
again.
that they can read and they can't,
So her name
clearly.
really is just Sweetie, regular
Sweetie.
Sweetie.
Well, it's spelled like that. It's spelled Saweetie,
Oh,
but
weedy, but it's
it's
sweetie.
Sweetie.
Oh,
But
I
she's
don't
She's
know.
dating.
from Cali. So in Cali, they be like,
But she
they
also,
kind of drag it a little.
very educated. She went to college.
A
Shout
lot
out
of
to her
rappers
position
nowadays
degree.
did go to college,
Well,
to
you
be
know,
honest.
black women are the number one college
Did they
educated people in this
finish?
country.
What you say,
Actually,
Gunna?
Did they finish?
Say that one more time, Gunna.
black women are the number one college educated people in this country.
That's beautiful.
Shout out to
Amen.
our black women.
Shout out to all
Um,
black women out there. Queen, love you.
who is Sweetie dating? Who is
Yes.
Sweetie dating?
So Sweetie
But
is
did they
dating
finish?
Roddy Rich,
Oh,
and
Allegedly.
I have them. I have a
allegedly,
picture of them.
allegedly, Wendy Williams, allegedly.
Yes,
Allegedly.
yes, yes. We will say allegedly. There was a date courtside at a basketball game. But if you look into the research, you'll see that she was on her phone, and he was in his. It looked like they were practicing social distancing. It didn't look affectionate at all,
Well, maybe they
but
were friends.
maybe they're just friends.
According to Sweetie,
I personally, how do you guys feel when it comes to these artists that link up together and uh, you know, what if it's
I,
just like a
I know where you're
basketball
going.
game? Always
I
have
know
to
where you're
be
going.
a relationship. Like,
I'm gonna chime in
what if
first.
like it's like what if you see Megan Fox and Beyonce at what is it In and Out Burger? They're not lesbians. They're just probably having a meeting. You know,
Yeah, so
I'm not saying that you'll probably see
I
that.
was okay. So I'm gonna clear that up for you. I
What they
was gonna
talking
pretty much
about?
say it too. Like maybe it was just friends. That he probably had an extra ticket. Let's go to the
Yeah,
game. They're practicing social distance. We have not seen any pictures of
yeah.
them kissing or anything like that. It's probably strictly platonic.
I mean, I'll just speak as an icon in our small LGBTQ community.
Our community is
Um,
not small. We're a billion-dollar
I
community, so
mean,
let's
yeah,
not
yeah,
downsize.
definitely that. When I say small, I mean from within a community, they always feel small, right? So I'm sure amongst the celebrity community, from within their community, it feels small. Within CEO circles, they feel like it feels small. So when I say our community, as someone who is a prominent figure in our community, it not that I can attest to the Beyonce level of stardom, but it is a way that you have to move in a way because the paparazzi and the people in the community are always watching. Speaking of the
Literally.
first question we had about X for a reason, all three of my relationships were high profile community watching style relationships. And it's a lot
Mhm.
of pressure to just want to be able to go out with friends and hang out and it not be seen as something bigger. Like you really have to think about every move, and it can become very annoying, because at the end of the day, yes,
Yeah,
they're celebrities. Yes, we've made them millionaires, but they're just people who want to go grab a bite to eat or go to a game or go to
yeah,
Walmart
yeah.
at
Or
four
go to
o'clock
a
in the
game.
morning,
Yeah,
like the rest of us. So it's a lot, and just
Mm-hmm.
being on this side of the community, which is a much smaller form, but still has its celebrity. I understand that pressure all too well.
Yes,
Where you're having to watch where you look, you're having to
yes.
watch who you speak to. You have people judge you based on
you know,
who
you
your
go to,
friends
you
are.
chicken, and then there's a photographer taking a picture of you, and he's not taking a picture of the menu, he's taking a picture of you. Why? Because he
Exactly.
bought it. So
I
it
mean,
is,
literally
yeah.
as a fashion icon, I've had people like be like, "Ooh, girl, we saw you out last night. What was this you had on?" I'm like, "Girl, I was running to the gas station. I had on some sweatpants and a t-shirt. What do you mean?" But because I'm known for a certain thing, they have this expectation built around you. And you know, I say, sweetie, if you sweetie, whatever. If you're
So
dating,
we
what's his name, Rowdy Roger. If you're dating Rowdy
Roddy,
Roger,
Roddy Rich.
Roddy
you
Rich.
want to say Roger Rabbit so bad, Gunna. You really do. You really want to say
if
Roger
you're
Rabbit
dating
so
Roger
bad.
Rabbit, then go ahead and be Jessica to his Roger, sweetie.
I mean, it's for the culture.
It's for the culture, girl.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's for the culture.
Um,
I'm for it. Like, no shade, sweetie. Like, get out there, girl. I saw you got tossed in the elevator and everything, girl. So maybe this might be a new journey for you.
Yes,
So
girl.
I'm for it.
And let's
And you wasn't
let's liberate women to date as much as they fucking want to.
Yes, girl,
Like,
live. It's
especially
your
women of
vagina, girl.
color.
Have fun. Do it.
Especially women of color. Like, what's her name? What's that white girl? I'm gonna let you finish.
Kehlani.
No, the one that Kanye West stormed on stage.
Oh, my daughter,
wait.
Molly.
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
We
Oh,
have
yeah.
seen, we have allowed this white woman to date so many different industry men, and no one paints her as a little whore. Yeah, a black woman.
No
or a woman of
one.
color can be
And
seen
she
That's not
writes
true.
songs
Ellen
about them,
Ellen
and nobody
did.
is fucking suing her.
Ellen DeGeneres did.
Well,
She did
Ellen
something
has her
as a
own
whore.
issues. She
Is
needs
Ellen
she needs to
really
worry about
mean?
how
You're
how
right.
her employees feel at her company. How about that, Ellen?
You're right.
All right, so we're not
That's
here to
right.
talk about Ellen. Congratulations to Sweetie and your new love life.
We can talk about Ellen.
I love Ellen.
I have a word from Sweetie.
Oh, we have a word from Sweetie, but
We do
congratulations,
have a word
Sweetie.
from Sweetie.
All right, word from
Do you have a
Sweetie.
Sweetie
Oh, that's
tweets.
lovely.
Sweetie tweets. So avoid sitting next to men in public places. Otherwise, the world assumes y'all are dating. Got it. So congratulations on going to the game with your friend.
With your friend,
He's
girl.
watching.
You got a free ticket, girl, courtside.
Right. He said, "I need somebody to come with me to this game," and Sweetie was like, "I'm gonna go."
I'm
Fuck
gonna
it. She clearly wasn't there for the game.
Exactly.
She was there to be
You know how many
there.
times I hit up Gillette and said, "Girl, you going to the mini ball tonight? Come pick me up."
No. But did you walk? No.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, the last
y'all
money.
dating?
She
Like,
went
oh,
there
the
to
last one.
Yeah, the last one, no
slam
shade.
dunk them that night.
That was the last
Her.
one, though.
All right, so congratulations, Sweetie, on on your newfound
Well,
love.
speaking of females in the news,
Who?
can we talk about the Barb's queen?
Can we?
avoiding her $20 million
All right,
lawsuit?
one second, because I gotta shout out my sponsors. No shade, I gotta shout out my
Okay.
sponsors. So we have some balls coming up, ladies and gentlemen. It is ballroom season. You know, it is no longer hot girl summer. It's no more we outside. It's now you outside with a coat, but you can still make the ball. So the overall godfather of the House of Arichi Bugs and the overseer of Virginia, Coco Arichi, is having the VA Take Me Back Ball this November the 6th in Virginia. So make sure you're there. Grand prize is $1,200 Femme Queen Sex Siren, and the first ever Butch Queen Up in Drag $1,000 performance. So like, I want to see the Remy's, the Chloe's, the Becky's, Alana. Tiny. I want to see all y'all girls out there for that $1,000. Like Karma, all y'all like out there. Chi.
Well, you know, it's only about 9
Yes, only like
legendary
of
drag
them.
performances.
Yes,
Right,
like
they're all
a
time queens now.
great handful of legendary drag.
Because most of them, when they're
Most
on
of them
their
are time
route to
queens now.
legendary status, they actually transition to become women.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't have a whole lot of legendary drag performances, because most of them don't stay in drags long enough to become a legend as a drag performer.
Well, shout out to the legendary drag girls. It's your first time ever to get your $1,000, girls, and get out there. Come on, I want to see
Make
stars.
that coin.
I'll be in the building.
I would
Okay,
love to see it.
$1,000 to go out and out there.
To be honest, I would have loved to see this 10 years ago.
I need
but I'm
that
still
money.
excited to see it.
You would have what?
I need that money.
I would have loved to see it 10 years ago, but I'm
10
still
years
excited
ago?
to see it. Damn.
But 10 years, but no, that's the thing. 10 years ago, there was probably, that's 2021, so that's 2011. there was maybe two legendary
Yeah, it
drag
really
queens
wasn't
on
that
Right. They
there.
many.
wasn't legendary. They was just drags. You right.
Ada, what
No,
you
never
feel about the
mind.
category NBA?
Never mind.
$1,000. I mean, I know you can't walk, but who you want to see come wake it up? I mean, wake it up.
Me.
You said you.
So as as like an avid no, not me. I'm not me. No, not me. No, 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 no. I definitely want to see Star. I definitely want to see Becky. I definitely want to see Chi Chi. I want to see Alana. Alana is someone that like she's not in the newer generation of legendary drag, so she kind of gets looked over, and I think that that's just something that she just it's just all the more reason for her to come back and give me the one.
Oh, bitch, we forgot about
So
Michaela,
I'm
bitch.
excited. I'm really excited.
I ain't forget about nobody. My
Well,
girl
I
Tanya is
kind of
going to
forgot. I'm
send
Oh
off.
sorry,
yeah,
Michaela.
Michaela. Oh, and no funny.
I was just
If Keon
thinking.
come from Paris and like show her ass, that would be wonderful.
Bitch, I would pee on myself.
Bitch.
If who came?
Kiara from Paris.
Kiara. She's been over here plenty of times. And you know when her first time coming here, I
Is
made
she
her
legend
a
now?
nice fur coat. That's my good girl.
Kiana from
She's legend in mainstream. I didn't know that.
There's
Paris.
a legend in
Legend.
Paris for performance.
Oh yeah, she
Yes.
is.
I didn't know that.
Who deemed?
I think Jack them did it this past weekend.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh.
There
No
was a
All right.
shade. I
ball
would
in
pee
Paris.
myself.
And we missed the Gunna, but
That's
I'll be
all.
there in December.
I didn't know that Jack
Uh-huh.
could deem people.
Why do you say that?
Ooh.
That's another topic, another subject, and we'll speak on that. We'll bring it up in
He's an
the
icon and one of the most
All
influential
right.
icons of the board. Of course he can.
I
I
have
wouldn't
to
even go
I
there.
have to finish paying my sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, that was the overall Godfather Bugs and the overseer of Virginia, Coco Orichi, will be throwing their ball, the VA Take Me Back, November 6th. Also tomorrow, Kiki Sing girls, we got something for you too. It's going to be in Trenton, New Jersey. Butter Old Navy will be throwing the Boga Wing Ball. And it's also $1,000 open to all performance. Like girls, like y'all need to get y'all boots. Like Christmas is coming, Black Friday's hitting. Get your things. So
That
that's
means
again, that is Butter Old Navy's ball. That is the Vogue Wing ball.
What?
It's tomorrow. The flyer is on his page.
I
His
don't
name
have
is
to put
Butter
my
Old
boots on.
Navy. It's 100. It's
Right.
1K. Open to all performance, and it's in Trenton, New Jersey. Go get your thing.
word.
Grace Jones talking about that's hers. The next ball will be October the 30th, the Hallow Eve Masquerade Ball. Masker Ball. I'm sorry, Masker Ball. Something in my tea. Masker Ball in Baltimore. The icon Monique, Sebastian, and Marco West will be throwing their
I'll be
ball.
there.
And the next ball that's coming up will be in December, which is for World AIDS Day, in which we'll be doing a great special for World AIDS Day. That's in December. But the New Jersey Kiki Sing Force, shout out to them. They will be throwing the Ribbons of Love ball in New Jersey. So I will be repeating this again, but yes, so these are the upcoming balls that's happening. So the
Word.
next topic, ladies and gents,
The coin.
Great. Now back to Miss Nicki Minaj.
Catch
go
me
to
at the VA
Right.
taking yeah,
So basically, if anybody's been keeping up
bro,
with Nicki
take
Minaj,
back
she is
ball.
in her career. She's now associated with her third person who's a sex offender. This is the third man in her life that she's been associated with that's a sex offender. First her brother, then 6ix9ine, and now her husband, who can't even legally be around their child without the presence of a chaperone or something. So she had a lawsuit from the young woman who
Because you mentioned that first.
her husband raped many, many years ago and all of this stuff. And so they had been harassing her. Telling her to, step out of the media. There was a rumor going around that, Nicki Minaj offered her $20,000 to like shut up and disappear. She didn't take the money. And so she had a lawsuit for harassment. And Nicki Minaj
it's no allegedly. Someone in the comments typed allegedly. It's no allegedly.
It ain't no allegedly. So then Nicki Minaj and her husband, the pedophile, the raper, the toucherer, did not show up to court. And so the young lady wanted to hold them in contempt of court and make them have to pay. So basically, Nicki Minaj went to the judge and
It's no
said, "Oh, it
allegedly.
was
It's no allegedly.
miscommunication. I'm so sorry we didn't show up. Can you give us another chance?" And unfortunately, power and money means a lot in this world. So the judge sided with Nicki Minaj and the husband and decided that they were not in contempt of court by not showing up and to basically give them another chance. Yeah,
So
so what do you
so hold on this topic. Everybody, I know everyone that has their feelings because I know most of these people here are barbs and all that, and I'm cool with that. We're gonna go one by one with everyone's opinion on this topic, but we're gonna let Gunnar finish giving the tea.
Yeah, so in that, this is what I really wanted to discuss with you ladies, being the masculine energy on the panel.
Oh,
Um, how do let me ask this as a broad question. How do you reconcile, or how does one reconcile being a fan or a barb with also being a black woman who understands the troubles that black women go through with sexual assault and representation and visibility in this country, in a country that's very misogynoir, that's very rape culture centric? How do you reconcile the two things just because you're a fan of an artist when there's the attack on black women's bodies continues under their artistry?
Well, honestly, when it comes to me, I I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan of Nicki Minaj. I do like some of the body of work that she has done, but I look at an artist, not only for the work that you do, but as a wholehearted person. And it's just like, girl, you consistently put yourself in situations where it just make you look like I don't really know. And then you're dating someone that you can be like around his child really like this. So like, is it really for like you, or is it really just like what is your whole motive? I really don't get her sometimes. So where I just really just steer away from her. I mean, I'm not comparing her to any other artist. I'm not really, really with that. But it's just some things that she do is just make me question her sometimes.
I think it's sad that as when it comes to the industry artists, they always throw a sex scandal always comes from behind that, either to destroy them or to actually expose this individual. I think I love, I love hip hop. I love what all the artists have done and put the legacy in, and bringing the culture and keep the 90s legacy and keeping real hip hop alive. But I think it really just stems from the background and the trauma that Nicki Minaj has faced with literally being the woman to, when they took the Grammy category off for the rappers, nobody was really rapping. So I'm not gonna say that Nicki Minaj took the torch, but I will say that she was the leading light at that time. She's left her mark. She's done her history. Um, I think when it comes to these allegations, it's sad that we can't. It's like it's sad that we all can't come to an agreement. It always has to be an argument to where it's Cardi B and or it's a team, and it's like, this is not a football game. This is real life, and this is people that have real life situations that go on that determine whether that can take away from your success. And it's unfortunate that those sex cases, when it comes to your brand, it no matter how much money you have, the real genuineness of it is no longer there.
Yeah.
Meaning the diehards start to lose faith because it's like, where's the responses? Why are we getting these whack lives? Where's the music? Where is the receipts? Where's your response? Where's your vulnerability as a woman, but also as a mother? And it's like, as you can see, she can't display everything because this is the shit that happens. But I do feel sad for her. I honestly was in love with her and Meek, and that was um, you know to each its own. But things happen, and I was in love with that relationship, you know, especially when they did Anybody Want to Buy Heart, you know, so I was really into that, you know. I thought she would have dated someone that was an artist, but she went to someone that, you know, she has history with. So, I mean, if her heart is that big to love a man that went through all that hell, then let that be her big ass heart. I think it's heartbreaking that I would have to have somebody supervised while with my son. You know, it's very, I it's traumatic. That's another part of trauma, you know. So it's like I hope she just get back to the music, and I
Yeah,
hope we all just come to a common
yeah.
understanding of
Someone,
what Black women go through in the industry and what also Black men go through as well, because Black men get the same. Um, they get the same sex case, and then it's like, okay, well, damn, fuck my career, you know, because it either destroys you or it makes you better,
right? Yeah, and someone
and it's
from
a
the
real
comments,
shady business, you
yeah,
know. People
yeah,
got dirt on you.
yeah, and someone from the comments just said that she knew him before. She was a celebrity, so that already in a nutshell she'll let you know you knew the character of the person and you already knew his past,
Right.
but you still
Yeah.
went along and married him and put yourself in this situation. So I don't pity her. Morgan, your feel?
I want to say that for someone, because I am personally am and was
Also,
a fan of
victim
Nicki
story
for a very
too.
long time. Say what?
No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, um, um, uh, yeah, I want to say that she like for someone who a lot of times like is very outspoken, doesn't have a problem saying anything in regards to people, or even just puts herself in a lot of situations or talks about a lot of things that she technically or sometimes majority of the time doesn't even know about. I find it very weird that when it comes to things that you do know about, like you just have absolutely no comment, there's nothing you want to address or say, but you can sit on a live with Jesse Nielsen, someone who fucking clearly does blackfacing, and then blackfishing, whatever the fuck they call it, and then want to tell her that the girls from Little Mix and the black girl that was getting racial remarks from that girl, that she's jealous, they're jealous of her, but you want to not address what's going on in your house and what you're doing. At this point, you should have just stayed with Safari. You could have stayed with that bozo. You wanted to be with a bozo, honestly, because he's the biggest bozo I've ever seen in my life. So, what was the reason?
I mean,
I'm just
you bring up
confused.
a good point, Morgan. That I think that's in a roundabout way. You kind of said what my issue with kind of her or many artists are is when who you are, who you say you are, your moral compass and stuff doesn't seem to align, right? So,
When it comes to
and again,
yourself,
this
yeah.
isn't a bash Nikki kind of moment.
No, it's not a
I've
bad
made it
Nikki.
yeah, no, but I'm just saying, speaking specifically for me as a black male, black man, I've made it my mission to try to stay out of situations where we tend to start bashing black women of color, right? Because there's a whole planet out there that's going to do that. So she doesn't need me, a black man, to come in and add to that, to compound that. With that being said, it's like I follow the career. Again, you want to be everyone's your sons. So that means that makes you their mother. So you're probably taking care of them. You say you're all about feminine girl power. You wanted to push femcs to the forefront. You want to stand up for black women and women of color, X, Y, and Z. But then when you're given the opportunity to really sit in that, right, that's when you fail. It's one thing for me to say, you know what, I support black women of a certain experience, right? And then have the women on this panel call me to task, and then I fail then. It becomes a lot of lip service. And so for me, when it comes to her, especially around these sexual allegations with the men that she's had very close to her, it's almost like she doesn't succeed. Like even taking it away from her husband and her brother, right? Those are two personal relationships. Maybe it's harder to navigate that space. But like her deciding to partner up with 6ix9ine after even her own fan base was like, girl, no, this boy is in blackface. This boy is he's said he's a known sex offender and rapist, and she's like, well, I'm sticking by him. It was like she's now been given 3 chances to show that as a
He's
black woman,
ignoring
she's going
everybody.
to side with victims and women of sexual assault. And all 3 times she said, nope, I'm siding with the man.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really calls into question her as a woman, saying that she's for women empowerment, when every time a man steps up, you take the side of men at the expense of victims.
Right. And once again, this is not a bash Nikki train. We're just speaking honesty here. Like we're just having conversation. It's not. And I feel like this conversation is really getting hot for Nikki, and I think it's affecting some of the people's mental. So I'm gonna go to a commercial. We have we have a commercial sponsored by the National Mental Health Line. No, on a serious note, there's a lot of people in our community that suffer from mental health. That's bipolar, depression, all types of like anxiety. Joe just made a song about anxiety. It's like my favorite song is going to be playing over the commercial. But anyway, we have to like check ourselves sometimes, and also if we have friends as well, if you feel like they have mental issues, reach out to them. So I'm going to allow, the commercial to play and then we'll come back and finish up with our tea. And thank you guys so much for watching. Like this has been really, really great.
It's so fun.
I wish that I could shut you off, keep you muted. I wish I knew the difference between your voice and mine. I'm always putting out the fires that you started, and every time I look around, it just looks bad on me.
All right, y'all, we're back. I just gave y'all a snippet. You know how it is, honey. I ain't got money to be paying for a whole song, so just gave you a little something. But that is JoJo. It's off her new album. It's called Anxiety. If any of you ever suffer from anxiety, just listen to those words. It really, really breaks it down to what anxiety really is, and if you don't know what anxiety is, she's telling you what it is. So like, if you suffer from that, like, get help. And I'll play the commercial at the end as well if you didn't get the number. It's the National Mental Health um, Awareness Hotline. So yeah, reach out. Okay, I love you all. So, before we get
I
to
love
another
it too.
topic, my twin, I was on Legendary on HBO Max season 2, and Megan Thee Stallion called me her twin. So my twin has joined the food chain, brandish crap, Sweetie had her sweetie meal, and I think Nelly had like a little meal at Burger King. At Burger King. So so Megan said, "Bitch, I want my shit." So Megan got a sweetie sauce, and I'm gonna try it.
A sweetie for
I told
honey.
the cast
It's a
to go
hottie
to
sauce.
Popeyes and get, it's only like $5 to go get you a little sweetie. I mean, a little Megan Hottie sauce. So I got my Megan Hottie sauce.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead and eat your little food that that
about
you
to try my
associate with
Megan
black
Hottie
artists and shit,
sauce.
black people. Go right
So
ahead.
what the hot sauce give? Like, give it to
So,
us.
it's the Megan Thee Stallion Hattie sauce. It's at Popeyes. It really didn't cause a wave like the Popeyes chicken sandwich did. Where the girls really acted a fool. But
Mm-hmm.
The Popeyes chicken sandwich brought in Corona.
You know, I told somebody that and they started laughing at me and I started laughing at myself too because I was tired, so I paid
It
it.
was a Popeyes chicken
But
sandwich along with standing that broom
I
up.
believe you.
Those two things brought in the Corona. Everybody wanted to stand up a magical broom, bitch.
Okay, let me try the Hattie sauce. Okay, I'm about to try the Hattie sauce. Okay, it's got like
Can we get some
What you eating
sweetie
with the hottie sauce?
broccoli?
broccoli.
Some Megan Thee Stallion carrots. Like we're gonna sit here and keep associating black people with foods that are killing black people. Yeah.
Child, it tastes like sweet heat.
So it's basically the same sauce they always had. So they didn't call her in. She didn't do no taste test with it or nothing. It was just we gonna slap your name on it.
Child, it tastes like sweet heat.
Get your coin,
No, Shay, they
girl.
did
Get
that
your
to
coin.
everybody.
Child, I'm gonna
No,
fry me
Shay, they
some
did that to
chicken. I got
everybody.
another pack. I'm gonna fry me some chicken later and like glaze it with my chicken or something. But anyway, Our
I
next
feel
topic
like
was
they
Bill Cosby.
What about
oh
Bill Cosby?
So another lady has came out and said, Bill and drugged her or sexually assaulted her, well, SA'd her, and this man can't take so much.
I mean, he's a sexual predator, and
I mean, he is, but Bill is on the radar again.
he's a sexual predator. He should be in jail for his actions, and that's it. I mean, this kind of ties into all the conversations we've been having today about celebrities and being able to separate the person from the celebrity, from the artwork, and how do we reconcile these things if we love these iconic figures, but they do things that
He's
aren't socially
84.
acceptable. But again, I want to side on the side of victims. I'm going to side on the side of morality. And I don't care how famous you are or how beloved your character was on television, right? You know, and 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 I remember during the initial trial, and people were like, "Well, some of the women lied." Okay, let's say some of the 100 women or whoever the number was, there was some huge number came forward lied. If there was even just one victim, then that's one victim too many, you know, and it's always weird for me, and now being on a panel with women, to watch how misogyny plays out and misogyny in general, and then how women can also be perpetuators of misogynistic and rape culture as well, right? Going back to what we were saying about Nicki Minaj and black women supporting her, who's supporting a man who touches young girls,
Right.
or black women supporting Bill Cosby, who's a man who's admitted to, giving girls drugs and stuff like that. It's like, so at what point do we become self-deprecating and we help foster the environment that we say we don't want for our black women?
Right. Totally understand. I mean, I love Bill Cosby down. I grew up on the Cosby Show. Telling my age.
Do you love Bill Cosby or do you love Cliff
Well,
Huxtable?
let me take this back. Let me retract. I love Dr. Huxtable.
You love Cliff.
I love Cliff Huxtable. I love Claire Huxtable. I love Theo, Vanessa, Denise, all of them because they showed the sense of family. Like I didn't really see that man as of what everyone is portraying him as.
Cliff
But at
Huxtable.
the end of the day, huh? Oh, but at the end of the day, I'm a person that stands by, like you said, I stand by my victims. If something happened to you and this is what happened, I don't know, and you the only one that knows, girl, I'm gonna stand beside you. And I'm sorry, Bill, like you're 84. And what you done in the dark is definitely now coming to the light.
And I want to jump in real quick. I definitely want to let the other woman speak, but I want to also tie into how I said about when especially people of celebrity or star power, right? And again, looking at this panel and who we are in our community, I'm sure we have situations, or will have situations if you haven't already, where you're called to action based on your moral code, and you have to sit in it, right? So
Right.
Bill Cosby is a man who, for decades, has called out black people, has called out the welfare mom, has called out the person sagging and not going to school, berated the black community on a lot of his behaviors. But then you come and you say support Boosie, and like, why are y'all dragging him? And he is everything that you have said is wrong with the black community, right? So given this opportunity to stand in your conviction, you also fall by the wayside. It's
Another
like every
Nikki.
time, it's easy. It's like these celebrities get these chances to create these platforms, and then when they're held to the test of that platform, the bottom falls out. And it's like, so what does that lead me to believe about your entire 20, 30, 40-year career? When given the opportunity, it's easy to be Cliff Huxtable when everything is working to your benefit, when everyone's loving on you. When you have the opportunity to really show who you are as a black man for this community, you go and you support the likes of a Boosie.
Speak about it. Speak about it.
I think what's
They
going
say
on with
they
Mr.
love us and
Cosby.
they go and support the music, just like how they turn around and go listen to the baby. And the people, I think people love the agenda of being fake because they've watched people be fake and become successful, and they think that that's a goal. And it's a
But we're
facade.
talking
Preach.
specifically about these celebrities, right? Like someone like Bill Cosby, who's 80-something years old. He's had this 40-year career of saying, you know, you shouldn't sag, you shouldn't make this kind of music, you shouldn't talk about black women, you shouldn't do this. And then given the opportunity to get out, you're like, yeah, go support Boosie. Stop blackballing him.
Right. Morgan?
I think what happens with him is really like not necessarily. I mean, it's unfortunate for the woman, and I guess it's an unfortunate thing about him that
The way,
just he
right.
couldn't help himself. I guess whatever. I don't understand what really was his thing and why he felt the need to do all of this
Versus
to these
somebody
women.
that's
I
been
mean,
disrespectful from
he
the jump
was.
since.
Oh, she back in. She he whatchamacallit, he made all these bad decisions. I'm paying that. I lost my train of thought. Fuck Bill.
I mean, this is a man who, in his early comedy, actually would make a joke about giving women Spanish fly and making them, you know, be intoxicated and loopy, right? And my thing is more so not even about them, right? So with these conversations with Tea Time with Gillette, I think this provides a great platform for us to self-examine, right? We through everyone else, we can use their examples to self-examine. And so, sorry guys. Oh, sorry. It boils down to where do we stand as a community? You know,
Mm-hmm.
who are we going to continue to back, and where do we draw the line for our own, you know, our own moral code and our complicity in these situations, where, you know, like I said, you have this. I've sat and watched our community drag the likes of someone like Trump, who says, you know, I'll grab a woman by her pussy, right? But
Yeah.
then they'll have a Bill Cosby, and then like, oh, but that's, you know, that's Cliff Huxtable, but we love him, right? So now it's like, where is your moral conviction only your moral conviction when it's easy? It's easy for us as black people to say that we can't stand Trump. It's a lot harder for us to say, hey, we want to give up this man who we idolized for 30 years of our lives.
Right.
Right. And it's like, and that's my thing when it comes to us as a community. When we're put to the fire, when we're really put to the
We give
test,
up and
where do you
fight.
stand? Where do you draw the line for your moral code, right? Within our own communities, Kiki scene, mainstream scene, things of that nature. We know there's a lot of sexual depravity that goes on. We know there's a lot of predatory behavior that goes on, right? But then we'll escape it. We're like, oh, but that's my uncle, and I know he's not that way. But we've seen your uncle date 17 to 18-year-old boys every time they come into the community, right?
I
Or, you
know.
know, that's my grandfather. He not that way. But you know he's that way because you told me that he tried you when he came into the community.
Yeah, and that brings me
Yeah.
to like, well, we kind of jumped the gun. It brings me to like, it's always that phrase, it's just ballroom. How do y'all feel about that? It's just ballroom.
No, it's not.
I think that
It's life. I'm sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
like I'm sorry. How does that? It's just fine.
to
I
hell
don't
with
think
that.
I don't think it's just ballroom where the phrase should be an excuse for the nonsense, the negative process of ballroom. Everybody should be held accountable for their actions. It's not just ballroom. It's that person that's toxic. You know, it's that person that made that
Hmm.
choice. It's these leaders that are preying on these young kids. It's these judges that are looking for something that's not even
Abusing their
within
power.
the means of this category. It's not just ballroom. It's the attitude and then negative energy, and we need to change it.
I think an important word that Jada said is taking, well, important thing that she said is taking account. And I think that's a huge thing when it comes to the Black community. People do not know how to
Calm down.
take accountability for their actions. And that just comes with everyone. That comes with people who are in positions of power, people who aren't in positions of power, and just people in general who feel even that little sense of power, they abuse it, and nobody ever wants to take accountability. And I think it's rather disgusting.
Yeah, Morgan. I think part of that not wanting to take accountability is when you come from a marginalized community, you often use your own marginalization or your own trauma to excuse the traumas that you inflict on other people, right? It's like, well, it was done to me, right? How often have
Definitely
we
taught of that
seen,
too, though.
like,
Yeah.
well, you know, she was being young and fast, so how's it all his fault? It's like, but yeah, you're the adult in the room. You don't get to deflect and put the blame somewhere else. You have to keep the blame on yourself.
Right.
And to your point, Morgan, I see that a lot in our community. It's Black community at large, not just Vaughn community, but Black community at large, because we are so marginalized and because we feel we've been held accountable for things that we shouldn't be held accountable for in the history of this country, right? Now it's almost like we want to give everyone get out of jail free cards. But here's my thing. Even if we do get a get out of jail free card, it can't be at the expense of other Black bodies, right? So going all the way back, some of you may have been too young to even remember this. Going all the way back to the OJ trial, that was a get out of free jail card. You killed a white woman. Yes, you're a murderer. We think it's bad, but for Black America, it was like finally we were able to use the law to get out of jail free. But that was, again, and not excusing it because of it was a crime against a white woman, but that was a crime against a white woman, right? Which is much different than when you have intra-community crimes, right? Like for R. Kelly, we can't want him to get out of jail free card when the women that he was causing harm to were women of color.
Our people.
It can't be. We can't let Black men or Black women or Black whomever get out of jail free when they're at the expense of other Black bodies. And so that's my issue a lot of times with these, you know, like with the Nicki Minaj, with the R. Kellys, with the Bill Cosby's, just like, and it sounds crack. It sounds horrible. I know it sounds horrible. I know someone watching this live is like, oh my God, you're saying it's okay to attack white people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying as a community that wants to uplift itself and hold itself accountable, we can't excuse crimes against our own people at the expense of our own people. And so that becomes, yes, I want to protect Black men because R. Kelly was molested as a child, but first I must protect Black women from men like R. Kelly, right? So there's different types of justice. There's restorative justice and there's transformative justice. Restorative justice says there was a harm done to me and I deserve some type of justice, right? Transformative justice says there's a general harm being against a community or a people, and we need to try to change the structures in place that allow for that type of injustice to happen. And so to use an example, transformative justice would be we need to stop the R. Kellys from becoming R. Kelly, right? We need to protect little boys when they're young so that they don't grow up to be R. Kelly. But restorative justice says you just harmed a young woman. She needs justice in this particular situation. And I think that's where a lot of times in our community we have issues, is where restorative justice and transformative justice don't necessarily align. And we want to give people benefit of the doubt, but we shouldn't.
Thank you for that. No shade.
That was cute. I learned something today.
Yeah. So, Bill, I'm sorry, 84. You did the time. You did the crime. You got to do the time. I love Dr. Huxtable so down. I love Fat Albert. I love everything you have done. I'm loving the characters, baby.
We love your work and we love what you
love
did.
your body
just
of
not
work.
what you did.
But just not what you did.
And so speaking of that, so I had this suggestion. I was talking to one of my good Judies about it's almost like out of cancellation culture has become anti-cancellation culture, right? It's like people want to cancel somebody, but then people are like, oh no, well, we're going to make sure that they do well, so we're going to anti-cancel them, right? So what I mean by that is, okay, we're canceling R. Kelly, but you have people that are like, no, we're going to not cancel him. We're going to stream all of his music and make sure he's not canceled, right? So you have the cancel and then the anti-cancel. I proposed a question to my friend. Do they really care? Because people are like, oh, I love his music. I'm gonna continue to play his music. Would the people that stand on that as their platform continue to stream his music if the judge decreed that all profits and proceeds from streaming the music would go to the victims? Because if you really just love the music, then it shouldn't matter who's getting the money, right? Exactly. So if all the proceeds from playing the Cosbys, all that revenue stream went to his victims and not to Bill Cosby, would people still be so pro, I want to watch the Cosbys? Or I think I want to listen to
I think people would do
it. I think they would do it.
Yeah, I don't think people would
care. I guess the point that I'm making is I think a lot of the people just want to be anti. And if the money was going to actual victims, then they wouldn't even care as much as they say they care.
Ooh, well, somebody just said
People probably wouldn't care. Exactly.
Right. But I also think that with Black people, it's a sense of losing something. It's a part of our culture, and we already don't have as much as apparently the white counterparts have to their culture. So we want to hold on to what little bit of culture or things that we know that make us up, that we have, and bitch, it can go.
Right, and see, and that's what I'm saying, Morgan. Right, it's
Because that's not
about
culture.
holding feet to the fire. We will sit there and say we don't want to to your point, we don't want to let culture go, right? But how is that any different than?
No, that's not my point. That's their point.
No, I'm saying like we as a collective. Some people may say that. How is it any different than white people in the South saying that they don't want to let go of their Confederate culture? That's their culture. They don't want to let go of it. Yet here we are as black people saying no. That culture was rooted in some bullshit, right? That culture was at the expense of a lot of people.
Thing.
R. Kelly, your fame was at the some of your rise to glory while that was happening was at the expense of these young women. You were literally making music about the young women that you were molesting, and we were out here having babies and making babies to it. So at some
y'all gonna tell me y'all not gonna listen to these music now after this and feel fucking just nitty gritty, bitch. Y'all not gonna tell me y'all gonna watch the fucking Cosby Show and when this man talk about some on the pudding pop, y'all not gonna be over it.
Like, I mean, just look at the Age Ain't Nothing But a Number album cover. It's like he in the background lurking, looking at a 16-year-old girl, and it's just.
I mean, even in the celebrity world, like you said, in our small community, we have sex predators in our community that are still walking and like affecting our community, and some of our people that are legends and icons are still trauma by that.
Yeah. I mean, and imagine how that feels as you love ballroom community. You want to come to a ball, and let's say you walk sex siren, and now you're being judged by someone who tried to touch on you when you were 17 years old. But we don't want to let go of our icon because they're so special. No, we should want to protect the youth.
Or you have to stand to the sideline and watch them get deemed maybe an icon or a Hall of Famer in your face.
It don't even have to be a sex siren. It could evoke some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it can be anyone. The reason I use sex siren is because usually people would dismiss sex sirens, right? We dismiss the girl in the black skirt, the short skirt. We dismiss the sex siren. Those are the people who our society all the time says they're asking for it. And it's like, no, they're not asking for anything. No one is asking to be violated. Leave ballroom out that place is crawling with pedos.
Yeah.
Gunner, you're tainted?
I'll say this. So I actually did a live on. Some of you ladies may not know, but Gillette knows. I used to do a lot of lives and talk about issues and stuff in ballroom. And one of those was predatory sexual behavior. And I wouldn't say that I'm tainted, but at the same time, I could say that if I have caused someone harm or if I've done something, then I've encouraged people to hold me accountable for that, right? So one of the things that I've talked about in one of my lives was that in our community, we have normalized sexualized greetings, right? I walk up to Sasha, I'm like, hey, girl, how's it doing? Oh, your breath looking good, and I touch them, right? And in our heads, we don't think we're not really conscious of we normalize that behavior. But in that moment, as a woman, she may not have wanted me to touch on her breast. She may not have, or we see somebody at the bar and I'm like, hey boy, how's it going? And while I buy him a drink, I touch the small of his back, right? In our head, we normalize those greetings so much that we don't think that that's sexual assault. But it actually is sexual assault. Every time, and I've seen butch queens, we do it to our trans women all the time. They get a new set of bags. They just got pumped. Whatever we start touching their hips and their ass and their breasts. And our intent isn't necessarily to be predatory in our sexual behavior, but it does not mean that it is not sexual assault when we do it. And the problem that we have in our community is, let's say now Sasha wants to say, I want to hold Gunner accountable. And Gunner, the way that you touched me was not, I didn't appreciate that touch. I didn't consent to it. Instead of me being the bigger man and saying, you know what? You're right. That's your body. That's your autonomy. I should hold myself accountable for it. We get so defensive. Oh, girl, it wasn't like that. You came in with your too short shirt on and all that kind of stuff. When it's like a lot of the problems that we have in ballroom, a lot around sexual predatory behavior and stuff, I think could be solved if more people would stop being defensive and recognize that they are groomed as part of a culture. Right, me sexualizing my greetings. I didn't teach myself that. The culture and community taught me that, but it's up to me to hold myself accountable and unlearn that behavior.
Right.
And not be defensive if Morgan tells me, girl, I don't like it when you touch my butt. Oh, well, girl, no, you don't like it. Let me stop.
Right.
Period.
Right. Yeah, I mean, judging from the comments, there's been a lot of people that's saying, that happened to
I
them
know
when they
me
first.
personally, I feel like I have an experience of.
Go ahead, baby.
Damn, Jada.
Come on, Jada.
We gonna
Yeah,
fix this connection.
sorry.
Yeah, we gonna fix it.
So I mean, I know that like being a woman and being femme queen and like coming into my own and my own identity has like it, women think we're sexy. I guess we are. We're gonna buy some
Mm-hmm.
internet or something. I don't know because this ain't working. This is not doing it for me. But people do. They come to me all the time, like feeling on my breast or my ass, or touching me or kissing me in a in a personal way, and it's kind of like sexual harassment. The only reason why I don't get offended is because they're my family. You know what I mean? But when other people do it, oh, okay, sure. Is that better?
There you go.
Is that better?
It's
Yes.
better.
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, baby.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but growing up, like people always find me, find reasons to like, overstep that boundary. But like in my personal life, like day to day, how I dress, like going to the store, I dress with baggy clothes, big t-shirts, and big joggers because I don't want to be seen or perceived. It only takes but a look for that unwanted sexual harassment from strange men in public. And then to come to a ball where I'm supposed to feel home and where I'm supposed to feel around my family and still be treated that way, it's kind of like a double, edged sword. It's kind of like, okay, I want to, be proud of who I am and my progress, but I also don't want to be, I don't want to be standoffish and tell people don't touch me that way. I don't want to, it's a very complicated and loaded question.
Yeah, so basically what Jada was saying, her connection's a little bad. She basically saying that she don't want to suffer the same harassment she suffered on the outside coming into a safe space that she called ballroom, being like harassed the same way by the icons or anybody in the scene the same way. So she's saying it's like a double-headed sword, like she has to face, like she's being like harassed on the outside and she's being harassed in her own safe haven.
Right. I mean, and that's just because we're ballroom society is a microcosm of society at large. Western culture is very rape centric. We are very misogynistic, patriarchal, and so there's an entitlement, especially to women's bodies in particular, that men think that they have, and it's unfortunate because
Very.
Jada should be able to come to the ball in spaghetti straps or titty tassels, and that does not forfeit her autonomy over her own body.
Right.
Right. And that's part of the culture that we have to change, that because someone is looking sexy or because someone posts a provocative picture on Facebook, now you up in their inbox saying, yeah, give me some of that or I'm gonna take some of that. It's like, wait, how did this happen? Oh, well, you're asking for it. No, I didn't. I posted a picture on my own or I wore something sexy. And so to tie in all these little different conversations that we've had about, the different celebrities and stuff, it is problematic in culture to. I'm only giving Femme Queen stern handshakes from now on. And you know what? That's where you should start, honestly. And that's the thing is we key about that.
Be a
Like,
gentleman.
oh, I'm gonna be fierce and I'm just gonna be
No,
that's
see,
Be
that's
a
that's the
gentleman.
other
how it
thing.
should be.
I don't want to. I don't want to be like. I don't want. We don't want what we say to like to push.
She broke up, but I think she was about to say like she
Like
doesn't want to
want
change the environment, right? But
to
to
like
me, that's
what our
also the
words to
problem that we
push you
put
away
on
and to
Black
make you
women.
like uncomfortable and to make you feel like you can't embrace.
But Jada, and that's the problem that we put on. That's part of the problem with patriarchy and misogyny, right? Is that your comfort is on you, and so is my comfort. So now you're having to subsidize your comfort for my comfort. You don't want to say "don't touch me" because you don't want to make Gunner feel like, oh, I'm not inviting or whatever the case may be. So then you belittle your own comfort for patriarchy. Butch Queen Assault is real.
Much queen of salt is sexual.
I'm
I'll
not
say
saying
is
because
that thing.
we're not A
Yes,
super soft
yeah.
Is
real
essay,
cool.
okay?
Yes, we're
Everybody
speaking
gets
for the
essays
masses.
at the Bulls.
All
Niggas
right.
is rapey.
So
I'm
this
sorry,
is
y'all. I had to have a little soup. I'm under the weather
so
today.
this so ba- so basically this is a topic that we can always cover again. Like this is
Again and again
a
and
lot
again.
that's very that we can really dig into. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're here every Wednesday and Sunday nights at 9 p.m. But let's change it up a little bit. Let's beef it up. Why Big Frida ain't getting the credit that she deserves?
It's sad. It's sad that they will use you in the business, and they. I think that they just don't want a certain, you know, marketable to be as extensive. They only want you to shine so much, but
I
they tell you
like
to
Big
shine
Frida.
diamond.
I have
I
what
love
they
that.
asked her, like what the person asked her, and what she
Oh,
said.
so you have the word for word what
Yeah,
they
the
said.
video.
Okay, all right. Let me
Yeah,
rewind
it's a
it.
video.
Let's see.
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. In certain areas, I feel like I could be more accredited. I should be at a lot of these award shows performing, representing for the culture about music. And then in some cases, I feel like I am being honored. But every time I'm in a room with my fans, I am being honored. I know that's right. And what else can fans expect from you? Any new music, any new sound? Yes, just dropped Big Diva Energy this month. Working on my next new project. I'm always working with music, so you don't have to worry. The queen gonna keep it shaking. You heard me?
So I have a question. Do you think, like how in the industry years ago, due to body shaming in the industry, like a lot of plus size celebrities who really had the talent really couldn't make it because of their body shape, and now Lizzo has really came through. And now when it comes to Little Nas X, he's slim and trim, he can work and do his thing. They're now like creating a new beginning for gays because we have Big Frida and we have Santana, and they really doing their things out here, but they're more on the plus size. So do you kind of get where I'm going with
No
this?
way. Is Big Freak a plus
I mean, well, Big Frida is kind of big and bold, and they're both like
size? She's
really, really
tall.
like
I think that I think
Frida's a little. She's
I personally
tall
think
and
that like
big.
gay
Like
It's
people
a
are
body,
like
but
overly
it's not plus
sexualized in
size.
general, and like when we put that type of like image,
Damn, Jada.
I'm laughing at somebody said Frida is bad body, but okay. At the end of the day,
I
Frida
swear
is.
it's not me.
Yeah,
So
it's
no,
big and tall.
Gillette,
It's not plus size. Not
I
saying.
think it's nuanced. I think that's one aspect of it. Just physical representation. In the industry means a lot. I also think another part that plays a big role in, specifically the Big Frida getting recognition, or just queer LGBT people getting representation or getting their credit, is because again, it's like with history of the United States, right? A lot of Black history isn't told, because if you actually tell the history, then you take away from the power of the people that's creating the history and saying
Right.
that they wrote the history, and it's giving power to those that you want to take power away from. So by showing, if they were to do a documentary on hip hop and Black music and really expound on, for instance, all the hip hop looks of the 90s that came out of New York were pretty much all crafted and curated by Black ballroom designers who were working on those design teams, from the male artists to the little Kim, all of that. You had a lot of people in the industry up here creating that image that we now have for hip hop, right? You have Frida doing a lot in the background, pushing sounds in a different way. So once you start to admit that these people actually have power and they're actually influencing the art, now comes the money, comes the adulation, comes all the other power, right? But you would much rather us act like we don't have contributions, so that later on in life when we're complaining, it's like, but what did you contribute? So I think it's very nuanced. I think, to your point, Frida doesn't come in a package that people are ready to accept. Whereas even though Lil Nas X is very gay in his music, he is a more palatable
Hmm.
presentation.
Right. I for Santana, like I just feel like they don't know how to market her, so they just
I
say,
mean, look at someone like a Little Mo, who to me is probably one of the best singers that should have been blowing girls out of the water in
No
the 90s.
Are
shade.
you a Little Mo fan
Say.
too? Me
But Little
too.
Mo
No
wasn't
shade. I love
marketable
Little
to what the
Mo.
90s R&B singer, what they wanted
Little
to
Mo
do.
was tea.
And so she didn't make it. You look at Jasmine Sullivan. They've struggled with Jasmine Sullivan's her presentation her entire career. One moment she looked like a mother and frumpy. One moment she looks like she's trying to be a sex kitten. So it's all about that imagery. And so when it comes to Big Frida, it's like on top of being gay, you're loud, you're boisterous, you're statuesque, you're big. All of these things that are intimidating to people, right? That want to control your narrative. She's a person who, when she walks into a room, you can't shrink her. So because of that, we can't let her into the room. I can let Little
But ain't
Nas
that what?
X in there because he's a little
But
small,
ain't that
skinny
what?
self. We can find
What
some wigs and
Hollywood
towel
wants?
over
Isn't
him.
that
We
what
can drown him out with
Hollywood
a
wants? They
Boosie,
want the
but you can't
big.
drown out Big Frida.
Someone says Santana is ghetto. Nas portrays the white gay. Big
But
difference.
isn't that what they want? Isn't that what Hollywood is big and gay and make?
I mean, I don't think Ghetto has anything to do
That's
with
too
it
much
because Santana is
of a
literally
mess
does the
or
same
much
shit
of
as the city
a
girls.
clown,
So
so to speak, of yourself as possible.
I really feel like it has to do with marketability, honestly. And as far as Big Frida, I
Boots.
mean, the music's cute, but like, well, I be wondering what recognition do people be wanting sometimes, like, cause Frida has what? Does she have albums? I'm not really a fan of
Yes,
Big
Frida
Frida.
have
I'm sorry.
albums. I think Frida should be on
Okay,
the same platform as like Little Nas X. I was first.
but what genre does Big Frida go
Booty
under?
bounce.
Okay, so like, what you want them to add a booty bounce award category to the awards and stuff? Like, I'll just be confused, to be honest. Like, what do people
No,
want
she want to be well.
when
No,
they say they want
she pretty
recognition?
much want to be welcome in the same rooms as everybody else and not looked at funny.
I feel like I don't feel like it gives that. I mean, I do feel like she does still get some kind of work. Like, she was on P Valley. Her songs be on P Valley, right? Her songs wasn't her songs on Empire or Star? No, I'm dragging it.
No,
Her songs be out there. Her songs be on shit all the time. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here in front at all. They may not be on the radio, but I always hear Big Frida music on a show or something. No shade. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. So, like, what do people be wanting?
But it's even like the Beyonce when Beyonce did the Big Frida. Why couldn't Big Frida be on the? Why did she have to be a voiceover?
why she couldn't be in
Beyonce,
the
you have
video?
the largest platform, one of the largest
That's
platforms.
because Beyonce's late.
Huh?
No.
No, 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 no,
Beyonce's
no, no.
late.
My mother is not late. I
And that's
will.
another subject. We're
So
not
why
going
she
there.
ain't put it
I
on
have the
there?
facts. I have the actual
So why she
facts
ain't
of
put it
that.
on there?
Time for Frida to be at the location for the video set. Frida had, it was technical difficulties, so it wasn't where she couldn't be in the video. But the fact that Beyonce credited her, that's big enough fucking credit. It's the fucking queen.
That's
She's an
fucked
icon.
up.
The
We
whole
want to see Frida.
Alex. We're not gonna go there. I think that when it
We want to
comes
see
to
Frida.
industry, if you're not having that it factor where people want to look at you, if people don't want to look at you, fuck you, suck you, listen to your music, then it's not hitting for you, sis. If the girls are not seeing you at Popeye's Chicken with a Gucci bag, or at In and Out with Prada and a raggedy shirt, or sipping a milkshake at or frappe at
No
Starbucks
shade.
Manhattan, if you have it factor, they don't care. It's not about your look. It's about if you're marketable. And if nobody is listening, if you're not giving us something to look at and something to talk about, then nobody's hearing you.
Right.
It's you can't say
Simple
you're
as
a
that.
model and you're not sending pictures. You can't say
But we
you're
also
doing
have to
runway
question,
and it's
who
just runway.
decides. We also have to question who decides and who defines what is marketable, right? So let's switch. Let's stay
Yes.
within industry, but switch to like movies. A lot of times they say black movies don't get greenlit because black movies don't perform well. Yet we just saw with in the last 2 years, last 3 years, sorry, black movies, Get Out, black horror movies, Wakanda, all of those that did big numbers.
Yes.
But according to their data, they would have said, "Oh, these movies won't do well." That's because who's defining what is marketable to us?
That's where the
Right.
racism is also in there too, because you get the black girl, the dark skinned girl, and the light skin supremacy, where certain light skinned girls are more creditable to get that role than a brown skinned girl is.
Right.
But I come from the era where we were in love with Little Kim and Foxy Brown. They were our brown skinned girls, and Aaliyah was our light skinned girl. So I mean, I think the colorism
Right.
still does exist to this day in the culture.
Yeah.
Did she ask a question?
Oh no, nobody asked the question.
I'm
So our
sorry.
last topic, because normally every Wednesday will be our hot topics, but we're going to switch up the gear. So Sunday will be our hot topics. We'll close up the week of what all the topics were for the week, and then Wednesday will be our interviews. So this Wednesday we'll be interviewing the one and only, the iconic Arturo Miyake Mugler. He had to run a class. He's busy, busy, busy. One at 100K on Legendary. So he's going to meet with us on Wednesday. We're going to do like a full out interview with him and still have some more hot topics and touch on some more things. But the last thing we're going to touch on before we go and before I, shout out my sponsors again. What is Andy Cohen's problem?
She a white queen.
Too much coke. Oops.
Oh, obviously, she slammed the Love and Hip Hop. Like she was giving very much told the girls this is not Love and Hip Hop.
So apparently, this season of was it Potomac? I only watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. No shade, them bitches are funny.
I like
Watch
Potomac.
it. Watch it if you got some time. No shade. I watched the first
I don't
season of
watch
Potomac. I
reality
was not
TV.
here for it, but he said I'm here for that kind of TV. I'm very here for it. I don't watch that kind of TV. No,
Yeah, I don't watch
I'm very here for it.
that type of reality
But
TV.
Candace, I think it's from Potomac, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And she had gotten into an altercation with somebody else and did something, and Angie made a comment saying that this is not love and hip hop. But I just feel like love and hip hop, well, Real Housewives is like one more bitch and maybe even one more thrown glass drink away from love and hip hop. So
No, they're more the classy Love and Hip Hop to me.
No, they are not.
no, they just get paid more than love and hip hop. Please, Auntie, don't even do that.
All that
Stop.
reality TV is
Classy.
trash. They're all
Still
equally
throw
trash.
flash champagne bottles at
Them
each
old
other.
bitches are not classy. They may dress classy, they may look classy as the fuck. When them intros come on, the bitches are classy as shit. When that 10 minutes go off, you be like, these bitches ain't
See,
shit.
and even with that, the idea of classy, again, I was just talking with a friend of mine a week or so ago. They were watching reality TV, and I was watching the episode with them because I don't watch it. And they had mentioned, the white women or whatever, they were real classy. And I was like, this is because you weren't immersed in white culture, right? White culture and black culture, they have two different ways of being ratchet and classy and all this. And those white women are ratchet as fuck when it comes to how people move within white society. They're acting in the exact same way as their black female counterparts. It just looks different to us because it's two different cultures.
And they
Right.
talk different.
Yeah,
So it sounds funny, but they be sounding stupid.
They are trailer park trash in a nice dress.
But still, how do we feel
Dress.
with Andy
Beautiful
Cohen?
dress.
I feel like Andy Cohen is a white queen
Yes,
who has
fine.
exploited and made a lot of money off of black women specifically, but women in general.
Women
He's
in
definitely
general.
racist. He's a race baiter. He is misogynist, as many gay men are. Just because you're gay doesn't mean you're not misogynist. In fact, a lot of us are more misogynist because we're gay. Because now we get the excuse of I'm gay. I'm not misogynist. It's like I have a black friend. As gay men, like, I love girls. I'm always around girls, but you're still misogynist. You still.
You'll be the first one to call us out our name.
You still intentionally pit women against each other, which in a world that's built on patriarchy does not add value to women's place in the workplace or in society in general. You created a platform that centers around women attacking each other. Like that is the premise of your entire platform. Reality TV is all around drama between women. And so you have built an entire career off of that, Randy Cohen. So you are misogynistic.
Randy?
Sorry.
Yo, gonna be picking me out.
Morgan,
I
you
don't
call
know my name right.
no
No,
longer
that's
Andy.
what Gunna said. Gunna said Randy.
Because he ran his mouth to the curb.
He always run his mouth out. That's his problem. Oh, that cold.
I'm rooting for everybody black. He
You know,
ain't.
certain girls feel like when they get a certain amount of coin, having a their tacky ass opinion.
Oh wow.
Have y'all ever
Like
been
save your
like?
money, put the bread on your butter, and shut up.
See, y'all not boys. Have y'all ever just been around white male queens?
I
Yeah.
have,
Well,
and they
I have,
actually give
I
that.
have.
some Caucasian friends.
Too.
White male queens are horrible because in their head,
Always.
again, they like it's all about these hierarchies and stuff. So they always know that they're white, number one, so that gives them a leg up. And then they think they are gay, and so they co-opt like the actions and the language of black women.
Yes.
And it's just
Yes.
like
It's
We'll
exclusive when
tell
you
you
with
how
them
many
though.
carbs I have, and then we'll say, period.
I love my white friends.
I
I
don't
love my
play
white
with
I
friends.
love
that.
That's
I love my white family
true
members.
together. So I
I
love
don't
it.
play with that. Yeah, I love white
I
people
love my
though.
white.
Don't get me wrong.
I love.
I
I
have a
love
lot
my
of
white
nice white people
American,
that I know.
but I'm lactose.
Me too. Um,
Me
but no,
three.
he's just a prime example of someone who was allowed into this space because he was gay. Because a lot of the things that he says and does, had he not had the gay card to play, had he just been a cishet white man, he wouldn't be able to get away with a lot of stuff that he does. But he gets away with it, and he
Yes, he
gets
would
to
be.
play the gay
He
card
would
whenever
be a
he
regular.
chooses to, which obscures him from his misogyny and his racism.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gunna, you got a fan base.
Oh, hey, Grace.
Yes, brother. You gotta. That's dope.
But yeah, I don't use
Yeah.
her. She's late.
So
Late
Andy
again.
Cohen, the girl's gay, girl.
A nasty
It's
white man.
late.
Mm-hmm.
So it's late, Andy. So
Okay.
I'm about to read our sponsors one more time, and then I'm gonna hit us with our final segment of the night. You know, we're gonna always have segments, and if anybody wants to be interviewed, just hit me up and we'll try to see what we can do. We'll, the cast will talk about it. And also, if you're an artist or if you're an entrepreneur or if you're a black business and you want to get your products, anything like promoted, like please like hit me up. I will do my best to like get you promoted. Also, we have Gunnar Dole here, honey. If you need your fashions and your things,
Definitely check it out. I'll be having a drop for Black Friday. I'll be dropping hats and socks and shoes and shorts and pants and tights and all things Gunna Doyle. My
I
brand is
know
very
Gunnar Dole.
Afrocentric. It has a message. I'm a streetwear designer, so yeah, definitely check me out.
Yeah, so check out Gunna Doyle, and he'll be here also with us every week. He's part of the cast. We're always going to have some chit chats. And also, if you are trans of experience, and you need like any kind of help, anything like that's going on, any kind of like resources, we have the first ever trans hotline. It is Trans Life. The number is down at the bottom. Please make sure you jot it down. They have unlimited resources. They have housing. They have everything that you may need for in your time of experience of trans experience. So make sure you jot that down. Also, in the Hudson and Jersey area, if you need COVID testing or free confidential and STI testing, look up Project LOL. We're at the bottom with our number, and our number's not there, but the times that we're open. But yeah, I'm there to help you, with your things. But yeah, so once again, ladies and gents, let me remove this. I'm doing too much. We have some balls coming up. They're the overall Godfather, Bugs Orici, and the VA Overseer, Coco Orici, will be having the Take Me Back Ball this November 6th. It's like less than 2 weeks in Virginia. Femme Queen Sex Siren is $1,200. And first time ever, legendary Butch Queen Up in Drag's legendary performance is $4,000. And it's only like a handful of you girls. So we're expecting.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be a long category, it's gonna be a hot category.
Yes, and we cannot wait to recap because we're gonna recap the hell out of that ball. Because the ball's on a Saturday and our show is on a Sunday, so we're about to recap the hell out of that ball.
Yeah.
So all y'all girls better come out.
And I'll be there with my camera, so don't get caught
I would love to
doing nothing
see it
juicy.
on YouTube.
Where's the
Also tomorrow, Butter Old Navy is having the Vogel Ball. There's another 101. There's another 100K going out. Open to all performance is 100K. It's in Trenton, New Jersey. If you can, make sure you you're out, go get it. I might go out and do a little cat canoe. It's 100. It's 1,000 cat. It's whatever.
A cat
Okay.
canoe.
Also, October 30th, the icon Monique, Sebastian, and Martha West will be having their Hollow Eve Masquerade Ball. Masquerade. I keep saying masquerade. Masquerade Ball. In Baltimore. So make sure you tune in and be there. It's not 100K. I know, Grace. It's 1K. Or I'm legendary still thinking 1K at Butters Ball tomorrow in Trenton, New Jersey. The last thing is our last segment is called "Watch Out There Now." So a lot of us are ballroom affiliated. You know, we watch our clips. You know, that's kind of like our little secret thing. Um, who in the scene right now that's making it hot for you, and we need to watch out for them? Who's making it hot for you?
I love Asia West. I thought her LSS at the What If ball was amazing, and she's a beautiful, humble girl in person. And I wish her the best in all of her endeavors. Um, Annie Wilson, I like her Vogue. I think if I say her name correctly. Um, a couple of girls in the Vogue,
Nastia.
like
Nastia West.
yeah, yes. I love her. I love her. Um, who else? Oh, I love congratulations to Kendra Westwood
To
for
Kendra. It's okay, everybody. Like, look, Sasha be watching y'all, honey. Sasha be watching y'all, girl.
Sasha watches. So I'm not, and I've become a mother now too as well. So it's like I have, some little projects to bring to the scene. But with some girls out there that I really love and I adore what they're doing. Um, did you guys see Tati at Cardi B's birthday party?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
my
she had
sis
got her little life.
Carrie.
She carried.
She
She
was
looked
skinning
good.
out.
Carrie, she looks really good. So I love that they're pushing the gay agenda, and I love that they're pushing the trans agenda. You have to protect all. I think all lives matter. But I just I can't wait to see everybody at these balls, these up and coming balls. It's a lot of people that are really doing it, and I look forward to seeing everyone because I love the performance, I love the art, and I love the cat. I love all of
Yo,
it.
Sasha, you're muted. I'm doing.
You be my
Speaking of the cat, I want to give a shout out to Snooki.
Yes.
Snooki, in the last 5 years, 5 to 7 years, we've really Ballroom has really been looking for like the next commentators, and so there's quite a few commentators that are out now that are doing their thing individually. But looking for that commentator that's going to know the history, that can commentate to the level of a Jack or a Selvin and know people's history. In the last year or so that I've seen Snooki commentate, he's really started to really pick up the history, and he knows when certain girls are in the building now. And it was because that was one of the critiques for the newer commentators of the recent years, that they don't know the old history. But of course they don't; they're new, so it's part of a learning curve. So I just want to give a big shout out to Snooki. That's my ballroom like person who's really stepped up to the challenge um, of what they do in ballroom.
And just to piggyback off of that, not hate a piggyback, but just to piggyback off of that, Snooki is really making a lot of noise with the Kiki scene in New York too. Like he's keeping the Kiki scene alive. Like he just had a ball on the boat with the girls on the boat. Like so he's really doing his best to really keep the scene alive during this pandemic that we're in. So shout out to Snooki. He's one to look out for.
We can
Morgan
also give
B.
me a shout
George.
out, sorry, to Lego.
That's
Lego.
mine, girl.
Oh.
Wow.
Give a shout out to
I'm trying to
Lego for allowing
think.
Oh,
this.
girl, you so late.
Give a shout out to Lego for allowing this old girl to walk a category that I've
Wow.
been dreaming to walk since I entered ballroom. Designer's delight. It was such a pleasure to walk that category. It was so nerve wracking for me to present myself.
I got your knee.
Y'all know I'm a fashion icon, fashion legend, so I wear a lot of other designers' stuff. But to present my own designs to the ballroom community, the community that I love, and to be as well received as I was, the inbox messages, the everything, the flood of everything,
Yeah,
it was just like
we know.
probably even though I lost, that accomplishment was bigger than many accomplishments I had probably the last 5 to 10 years. So yeah, shout out to Lego for doing Designers Delight, and shout out to the Orichis for sitting me after I sat 3 of their members. Shout out to
Yeah,
Toran for sitting me with a
Iran.
tiebreak vote. But yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was the pilot season, and I see at the end of the show it's where you're gonna see where tea time gets spicy. So, Gunny, you were so rude. Morgan had a nasty person that she was about to call out. So
Oh, go ahead, Morgan. I'm
let's
sorry,
see
Miss
what Morgan
Morgan.
said. And you were
I didn't have a
so rude, and you
resume.
called out my person. But let's see.
I didn't have a resume. I honestly was trying to think. So, sidebar, thank you, because I did need time to think. Because I wanted to like shout out somebody that's new. You know, I love all the old girls, all the girls, just the girls in general. But um, I'm really loving um, female figure phase. Well, excuse me, femme queen phase. Aubrey Mugler. I think she's very, very beautiful. Her face, like her structure, everything. Like I just like that's my niece, and she's just so beautiful. Like I never thought that she would just blossom so soon as a very
She
young
look,
girl. Like
she
she's
look over,
beautiful.
bitch.
Yes. And when she come out at the balls and she just like the past ball when it gave wedding dress, but I know it wasn't a wedding dress, but I was just like, bitch, she
The
looks
West Ball is
big.
what she
Like,
broke it up at.
what the fuck? She definitely broke it up at the West Ball, but that past ball that she went through, she had on the all white. I was like, oh my god, like it was very, very like regal.
So that's your new. That's your girl to watch out for.
Yeah.
Word, word. Jada, who your girl to watch out for? Jada, baby.
We're gonna help our sister
I
get it
actually want
together.
to shout out the Juicy Boys. I have been like, me personally, I've been in like the Kiki scene. Yeah, I know we're gonna get into together next week. Really quickly, the Juicy Boys, they're Reese and Thunder, and they just they crap, I can't. I'm always forgetting somebody, but it's really all of the young generation of the Bocans and the Twisters. I have been watching them from the Kiki scene for a very long time. I have been seeing them from like teenagers, basically off of Mother's Milk, 360 and double kicking and all of these little stages. And it just really amazed me how how they're like growing up and they're coming into their own spot and they're giving back and they're still making their statements and they're still doing what they got to do in their real lives. And they're just like, yeah, they're keeping the fire in the ballroom that I love so much. The JCons, the Angel Mattels, the Thunders, the Reeses, the Ninos, those kids really keep me keep me invested and keep me interested in voguing in general, really.
Right.
Especially that JCon.
Okay,
That
so
JCon knows how to. He does some things to his body, Lord.
yes, JC on Balmain. Okay, so I guess it's my turn. So I actually
Mhm.
have on two sides, which is the Kiki scene and the main scene. The Kiki scene, I have several because I really watched from the time of me moving from New York. I mean, moving to New York, I really watched these everyone like blossom and grow to who they are. I'm really, really very proud of Charmin and like what he's doing in the Kiki scene with the House of Playboy, and then continuing to be able to manage the both main scene and his Kiki scene house. So shout out to Charmin. He's definitely one to look out for. He is definitely one that will come out and swipe you right out of here. So Charmin is
Okay.
definitely one that I say that I look out for from the
Mhm.
Kiki scene. Um, Also from the Kiki scene, Jada also said like your Reese's and your Angels and all of them. I really love that they took their time and they really like perfected their craft, and now they're slowly graduating to the main scene. Now another bitch that is really making me know it, and my brother makes me always know it, who's sitting beside me, Gunna, is Miss Shantae Dior, who is serving it in Runway. The girls are saying that she's a duplicate of me. I say it too, but I take it in great stride.
How?
But my good girlfriends be like, "Girl, she's still in your walk, she's still in your looks and all that." But I really love that. I really love the fact that whatever I've done or paved the way or whatever, like it's being mimicked and is now like being rebranded and all that because I'm getting tired.
You know what, sis? You have it's one thing to be a legend and an icon and all these kind of things. But speaking from a certain caliber of girl, it's another thing when you reach the status of bring it like somebody, and you've reached a status where someone can say, bring it like Gillette. And even if they don't use one of your previous effects, they could do something and we'd be like, no, Gillette wouldn't wear that. Or yes, Gillette would walk like that. And you've reached that platform as far as like how you bring it and your walk and your aesthetic. It's identifiable enough that you now have your own lane that the next generation can look to and be inspired by. So
Oh, well, thank
kudos to you,
you.
sis.
Oh, I got that from the icon. I got that from the icon. All right, let me finish up. Let me
Kudos to
finish up.
Gillette.
So my last on the main scene, which was Snooki, like I said, Snooki has really done a great job, like of just keeping New York alive, like keeping New York moving and busy, like regardless of how everyone may feel or say about him, like at the end of the day, you're going out supporting, and he's giving you some kind of a safe space so you can enjoy yourself during this time. So shout out to Snooki and continue to keep doing what you're doing, bitch, because I live for it. And also to Lego. Lego has been a person that's been like an underdog for years, but Lego has brought us to Times Square. He has given us consistent OTAs and it's like fab OTAs and gave us another safe space and a place to where we can just express ourselves. And for the icon Gunner to come even walk and like give his presence. So shout out to Lego. You're a person that I'm watching. He has freaking OTA Academy coming up. That's something new for New York, like for the people to come and learn how to vote with the legendary icon Ricky Allure. I might sign up because I want to be my little cat.
I might sign up too.
And then, I have to shout out my house,
Oh, I might sign up too.
no shade. The signups is now. Just go on Lego's page and you can sign up for the OTA Academy. It starts November 2nd. And my last but not least, I got to shout out my house. A girl that's coming out here is shaking it up, and she got a trophy in every, like, the north, south, east, and west. That is Baby Orichi women's performance. She comes and she brings it and she serves non-stop, baby. And that is a force to be looking out for. Don't try her because you want to get her out of here. Let her perform and do her things, baby. That's it.
Shout out to Alora Orici.
And Alora too.
Oh, this is not about to be the Richie segment.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
we're not gonna make this an Richie segment. We're not. But just those are our people that we feel like you got to look out for. Shout out to Kendra. Shout out to Baby. Shout out to Charmin. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Snooki. Shout out to Lego. Shout out to Reese. Shout out to Sasha. La, 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 la. Shout out to everybody. We looking out for y'all, and we will be recapping. So make sure you're on your pieces. November 6th, Take Me Back Ball. Catch us Wednesday. We'll be here with the legendary Arturo. We got more tea. And we're going to probably talk about Chloe. She's coming out with the little Have Mercy and, some things. So, yeah. Y'all got any closing remarks? Or you girls dead and done?
All the girls are kind.
I'll even shout out to Growler, who sponsored my mug for this evening. It is a site for those of us who like men with a little extra, a little extra fat, a little extra hair, a little extra grrr. So shout out to Growler.
Yes, and shout out to Family Dollar for my mug. Yeah.
I don't know where the fuck mine's from, but shout out.
No, shout out to slavery companies. But shout out to Family Dollar again. Y'all can't see my mug, but that's where I got it from.
We did it, ladies.
Yes, everyone, and thank you all for being patient with us. This was like our pilot. We'll be here every Wednesday and Saturday. We will work out the kinks and get everything together. We thank you all. This was the new Gillette Tea Time. We're spilling the tea, but we will get a little deeper and a little bit more tier once we get a little bit more into the show. So thank you all so much. And once again, I'm going to have the banners fly as my cast members, depart. And I love you all for coming. Y'all have a great night. Love all the girls because all the girls are kind.
Adios.
I can't hear me. See, what is that?
Yes, everyone, thank y'all all once again for tuning in to Gillette Tea Time, episode 1. This is our pilot season. I'm going to give you the rundown of the balls again. So, of the year, not of the year, overall, Godfather, Bugs Orici, and VA Overseer Coco Orici will be having the VA Take Me Back Ball this November the 6th in VA. The grand prize is Femme Queen Sex Siren, that is $1,200, and the first ever Butch Queen Up in Drag's legendary performance for $1,000. So come out, girls, get your coins. Like I said, and the girls also said it's only a handful of you girls. So come on, we want a show. Come on, let's get it. Also, tomorrow there will be another 100K. Get this 100K out your mouth, girl. There'll be a 1K open to all performance given out at Butter Old Navy Ball in Trenton, New Jersey. Is the Vogel Ween Ball. That is 1K open to all performance. Trenton, New Jersey, Butter Old Navy. It's tomorrow. It's a Kiki Ball, but hey, come out and get your life. And the icon Monique, Sebastian, and Marco, October the 30th, will be doing the Hollow Eve Massacre Ball in Baltimore. Okay? So thank you all so much. We'll see y'all Wednesday. Mwah.